Good afternoon, students, and welcome to week 6 of our online learning. This class is for Module 4, Listening and Speaking, and the subject code is E31203. The topic for today will be Art All Around Us. In vocabulary, we will learn about musical instruments and the sound they produce, collocations, phrasal verbs with up, and the language focus will be on present perfect for indefinite past time and present perfect with never and ever. The content for today will be vocabulary, instruments, listening and interview, the language focus, present perfect with ever and never, a discovery video, find out about unusual instruments, reading, a web page, Burning Man Festival, a video, art in perspective, writing an internet post, and then a review. With the aims of this lesson, I can understand different types of musical instruments. I can talk about what I have and haven't done. I can ask and answer questions about music. I can understand an article about a festival in another country. I can understand perspective in art. I can write an internet post about a concept. Let's do vocabulary. Instruments. Art all around us. Exercise 1. Match the words in the box with the instruments in the pictures 1 to 14. Then listen, check, and repeat.
1.
Clarinet.
2.
Saxophone.
3.
Guitar.
4.
Banjo.
5.
Flute.
6.
Violin.
7.
Tambourine.
8.
Piano.
9.
Drums.
10.
Trumpet.
11.
Keyboards.
12.
Mouth organ.
13.
Recorder.
14.
Cello.
Let's repeat the vocabulary once again and listen to the sounds the instruments produce.
1.
Clarinet.
2.
Saxophone.
3.
Guitar.
4.
Banjo.
5.
Flute.
6.
Violin.
7.
Tambourine.
8.
Piano.
9.
Drums.
10.
Trumpet.
11.
Keyboards.
12.
Mouth organ.
13.
Recorder.
14.
Cello.
'Now that we've listened to the vocabulary and know the sounds the different instruments produce, let's use our table. Match the words with the pictures. Okay, so we have the pictures here and we have the words below. What instrument is this? This would be the cello. Number 13 would be a recorder. Number 12 will be a mouth organ or harmonica. Number 11 will be keyboards. Number 10 is a wind instrument, will be the trumpet. Number 9, the drums. Number 8, the piano. Number 7, the tambourine. Number 6 will be the violin. You can make out this is the chin rest, so it has to be the violin. The cello looks similar, but it does not have a chin rest. It does have a stand, so it can be held upright. Number 5 will be a flute. Let's move on. Number 4 will be the banjo. Number 3 will be the guitar. Number 2 will be the saxophone. And number 1 will be the clarinet. So let's check our answers. Well done, all correct. Let's look at the instruments once again. The clarinet is a wind instrument. The saxophone is also a wind instrument. The guitar will be a string instrument because it has strings on the board that you have to strike. Same as the banjo will also be a string instrument. The flute will be a wind instrument. The violin, a string instrument, though you will use a bow to make the sound. But you can also use your fingers to give the plucking sound of the violin. The tambourine is a percussion instrument. So is the piano. It's also a percussion instrument because you use your fingers to produce the sound. You hit the keys and produce the sound. The drums is also a percussion instrument. The trumpet is an example of a wind instrument. The keyboard, like the piano, a percussion instrument. The mouth organ is a wind instrument. The recorder will be a wind instrument. And finally, the cello will also be a string instrument like the violin. Let's go on to exercise 2. Work with the partner. Answer the questions. What instruments do you associate with orchestras and classical music? What instruments do you expect to see in a pop or rock band? And number 3, what about the other instruments? Where would you normally see them? Let's do this in the PowerPoint. Musical instruments. What instruments do you associate with orchestras and classical music? I associate a large variety of instruments, namely strings, wind, and percussion. What instruments do you expect to see in a pop or rock band? Instruments that produce sounds using electronic devices. What about the other instruments? Where would you normally see them? In cultural and folk music. Listening, an interview, Exercise 3. Look at the picture of a musician called Leo. What instruments has he got? Where do you think he performs? Listen to a journalist, Marcia, interviewing Leo. Check your ideas from Exercise 3.
Listen to the interview.
I'm Marcia from the Music Madness radio show, and I've come to the Auckland Buskers Festival in New Zealand. Today I'm talking to Leo Shaw. He's a well-known busker here in Auckland, and he's famous because he plays so many instruments, but he's never played here at the festival. Thanks for talking to us today, Leo.
Pleasure.
Is that right, Leo? Have you ever played at this festival?
No, I haven't. I've never played here before, but it's fantastic.
So, you look like a walking orchestra. How many instruments have you got?
A lot. I get bored if I play the same instrument every day.
Which instruments are you playing today?
The guitar. Then I have a drum. And this tambourine. And then there's this. It's a banjo. It's new. I've never had a banjo before, but I love the sound of it. And I have a mouth organ too.
So that's 5. Wow! How many hours have you played today?
About 7. I've been here for a long time today because there are lots of people around. But some days, I only play for 2 or 3 hours.
Have you ever played in a group?
Yes, I'm a trained musician. I do this to get some extra money and because I like playing in the street and meeting people.
Have you ever played in a concert hall or a club?
I've played in clubs, for private parties and in concert halls, but like you said, I've never played a festival like this before.
Oh, I see. So, what kind of music have you played in your career?
Jazz and blues mainly. I really like playing the jazz saxophone. It's very relaxing and it's the most popular. I've just started to play the banjo, so I'm playing some folk and country music now. I also like to play rock music with my guitar and sometimes the drums.
Is there an instrument that you haven't played, Leo?
Well, I've never played the cello or the violin, but I could learn.
Look at the picture of a musician called Leo. What instruments has he got? Where do you think he performs? He's got a guitar, drum, tambourine, banjo, mouth organ, and he performs in the street, in clubs and concert halls. Let's move on to exercise 5. Listen again and answer the questions. Number 1. Where is Marcia? 2. Why is Leo so well known in Auckland? 3. Which of Leo's instruments is new? 4. How long has he played today? 5. What types of music does he play? 6. Which instruments has he never played? Let's do these questions in the PowerPoint. Now that we've listened to an interview with Marcia and Leo, we can now answer the questions. Where is Marcia? She's at the Auckland Buskers Festival. Why is Leo so well known in Auckland? Because he plays so many instruments. Which of Leo's instruments is new? Leo's banjo is new. How long has he played today? About 7 hours. What types of music does he play? Jazz and blues, folk and country, as well as rock music. Which instruments has he never played? He's never played the cello or the violin. Now let's move on to exercise 6. Your turn. Let's think of what answers we're going to give, because we're going to do this when we come back to the classroom. Work in groups. Do a music survey. Report your group's information to the class. Do you like listening to music? What kind of music do you like? Do you play a musical instrument? Do you ever give money to buskers? So these could be some of the suggested answers, the way you could begin. People listen to different kinds of music, but I like classical music the most. Or some people listen to music on the bus and they feel relaxed. 2 people always give money to buskers because they need to earn a livelihood. Language focus 2. Present perfect with ever and never. Exercise 1. Complete the examples from the listening on page 34. Number 1. He's never played at the festival. Number 2. Have you ever played at this festival? Number 3. I've never played here before. Number 4. Have you ever played in a group? And number 5. I've never played the cello or the violin. So in questions, you normally use the word ever, but in answers, when you answer something you've never done, you use the word never. So the 2 questions we have ever is, have you ever played at the festival? Or have you ever played at this festival? And number 4, have you ever played in a group? So we normally use ever for questions, and if you've not done something before, you answer, I've never. Let's check our answers. Well done. Let's move on to exercise 2. Look at the questions in exercise 1. Where does ever go in the question? Exercise 3. Rewrite the questions putting ever in the right position. Let's do this in the PowerPoint. Have you met a famous musician? So, ever will come between you and met. Have you ever met a famous musician? So ever comes before the verb to meet. Have you visited England? The verb is visited, so ever will come here. Have you ever visited England? Number 3. Has your town had a music festival? So had is the verb Has your town ever had a music festival? And number 4, have your parents owned a pet? Here the verb will be owned, so ever will come just before the word owned. Have your parents ever owned a pet? Let's look at exercise 4. Make sentences for pictures 1 to 3. Write sentences using the word never. And for pictures 4 to 6, write questions using ever. Ask and answer with your partner. Number 1. I paint graffiti on a wall. We have to make sentences using the word never. I paint graffiti on a wall. I never painted graffiti on a wall. Correct? I've never painted graffiti on a wall. Number 2. He plays the drums. He's never played the drums. He's never played the drums. Number 3. She win a race. She's never won a race. She's never won a race. Now let's move on to numbers 4 to 6. For number 4, climb top of a mountain. Have you ever climbed the top of a mountain? Have you ever climbed to the top of a mountain? Correct. Number 5, go a concert. Have you ever been to a concert? Have you ever been to a concert? And number 6, paint a house. Have you ever painted a house? Correct. Have you ever painted a house? Let's move on to exercise 5. Write questions using the verbs in brackets. Then listen and check. Let's do this in the template. So the verb for number 1 will be be. Have you ever been to a concert or festival? Number 2. Have you ever downloaded music from the internet? Number 3. Have you ever been in a band? Number 4. Have you ever sung in a choir? Number 5. Number 5, have you ever uploaded a piece of music to the internet? Number 6, have you ever met a famous musician or singer? Number 7, Have you ever traveled? Have you ever traveled a long way to see a group or singer? Traveled can be spelled with a single L or with double L. Well, the British spelling would be a double L, so let's use a double L. Number 8. Have you ever listened to music while doing sport at the same time? Have you ever listened to music while doing sport at the same time? Number 9. Have you ever posted a music video? Have you ever posted a music video online? And number 10. Have you ever followed a band on Twitter? Have you ever followed a band on Twitter? Okay, let's check our answers. Well done, all correct. Now let's listen to the questions once again.
Listen and check. 1.
Have you ever been to a concert or festival?
2.
Have you ever downloaded music from the internet?
3.
Have you ever been in a band?
4.
Have you ever sung in a choir?
5.
Have you ever uploaded a piece of music to the internet?
6.
Have you ever met a famous musician or singer?
7.
Have you ever travelled a long way to see a group or singer?
8.
Have you ever listened to music while doing sport at the same time?
9.
Have you ever posted a music video online?
10.
Have you ever followed a band on Twitter?
Now let's move on to exercise 6, your turn. We will do this when we are back in the classroom, but in the meantime, we could think about answering the questions from the quiz. Ask and answer the quiz questions in exercise 5 with your partner. Have you ever been to a concert or festival? And your answer, no, I've never been to a concert, but I've been to a festival. Discover culture. Find out about unusual instruments. We are now going to see a video about unusual instruments, a world of music, and then we will answer some questions.
A world of music. This is Mexico, new and old. And the lively sound of mariachi music is the music of both. Mariachi bands have been around for hundreds of years. The Spanish brought instruments like guitars to Mexico in the 1500s. Today, most mariachi bands include several different instruments. The trumpet was a later addition to give the music a brighter sound. Mariachi music is an important part of Mexican culture. Mariachi music is full of emotion, and musicians sing about happy and sad experiences. In India, the sitar and the tabla are common in traditional music. The tabla is a drum, and the sitar is a complicated stringed instrument, which has been around for hundreds of years. In Britain, people have been interested in Indian music since the 1960s, when the Beatles and other groups started to use it in their music. Since then, sitar music has spread across the world. As well as strange animals like the kangaroo and the koala, the continent of Australia is home to a very unusual instrument, the didgeridoo. The didgeridoo is one of the oldest wind instruments in the world. Australian Aborigines have played didgeridoos for at least 2,000 years. Over time, more Australians began playing the didgeridoo. And in the last few decades, it has spread across the world. Today, because of travel and technology, we can share and listen to different styles of music from all over the world.
Now let's move on to discover culture. Exercise 1. Look at the image of 3 musical instruments, A to C, and complete the table with information below. This is the continent of Australia, India, and the country Mexico. So 2 countries and 1 continent. Okay, now let's answer the questions since we've seen the movie. Let's do this in the table. Complete the chart with the information in the box. Photo 1. The country would be Mexico, and the name of the instrument will be the trumpet, which is a wind instrument. In photo 2, that would be from India, name of the instrument, sitar, and it's a string instrument. For photo 3, will be Australia, the country or the continent of Australia, and the name of instrument, the didgeridoo. And it is one of the oldest wind instruments. Let's check if our answers are correct. Well done, all correct. Exercise 2. Watch the video and check your answers. Let's move on to exercise 3. Match the information to the 3 different musical traditions or instruments: mariachi, didgeridoo, and sitar. Let's do this in the table. Number 1. The music is lively and emotional. That is the mariachi music from Mexico. Number 2. The instrument has been around for hundreds of years. This could be the sitar. Number 3. A famous group used this instrument and musical style in their own music. This would be the Beatles, and they were influenced by Indian music. Number 4. This music requires a number of different instruments. This would be the mariachi from Mexico. Number 5. This is one of the oldest instruments in the world. This will be the wind instrument, the didgeridoo from Australia. And more Australians play this instrument now. This will be the didgeridoo from Australia. Let's check our answers. Well done. All correct. Exercise 6. What is the report's main message? Choose the best option. Every country has different musical traditions. Number 2. We can now share and listen to different musical styles very easily. Or number 3. Music can be happy or sad. Choose the music according to your mood. I think the best answer will be this one. Number 2 and number 3 are partly correct. Let's check our answers. Well done, all correct. Now let's move on to exercise 7, your turn. Ask and answer in groups. Would you like to play one of these instruments? Are there any traditional instruments which are special to your country? And number 3, what do you think are the positive things about playing in a band or orchestra with other people? Okay, so let's think about these answers. We will have a lot of answers. Reading, a web page. Burning Man Festival. Work with a partner. Look at the pictures of a festival in the USA. What do you think people do there? This is the picture and this is the article. Burning Man Festival. Exercise 2. Read the text and check your answers to exercise 1.
Burning Man Festival. Frequently asked questions. Maybe you've picked up tickets to the festival, but you're not sure what to expect. Read these FAQs to find out more.
What is the Burning Man Festival?
It's an arts community festival which takes place every year for a week at the end of August in the Black Rock Desert in Nevada in the USA. More than 60,000 people showed up last year. Volunteers create a community in the desert called Black Rock City. They set up everything themselves.
Has the festival always taken place there?
No, it started in San Francisco, California in 1986, next to the Golden Gate Bridge. It moved to the desert 5 years later.
Why is it called the Burning Man Festival?
Because fire is an important theme of the festival. People build an enormous wooden statue of a person which is more than 30 meters tall, and they burn it on the Saturday night of the festival. They also build and burn lots of other things.
What else do people do at the festival?
They dress up in costumes, and because of the dust in the desert, they wear goggles. There are also a lot of other fun activities. There is usually a balloon chain of 450 different balloons, which is 1 kilometer long, and it lights up the sky.
What happens after the festival?
After the festival, the rules are very strict. People must tidy up everything and leave the desert exactly as it was before the festival started, because the organizers are very worried about protecting the environment.
How is it different from other festivals?
It's unusual because there aren't any famous bands or celebrities. It's all about community. Everyone is on the same level.
Fact. Every August, Black Rock City becomes the third largest city in Nevada, but then it disappears in September.
Now let's move on to exercise 3. Read the frequently asked questions, FAQs, about the Burning Man Festival. Match the questions A to F to the answers 1 to 6. Let's do this in the table. Burning Man's Festival FAQs. Maybe you've picked up tickets to the festival, but you're not sure what to expect. Read these FAQs to find out more. Number 1 has been done for us. What is the Burning Man Festival? It's an arts community festival which takes place every year for a week at the end of August in the Black Rock Desert in Nevada, in the USA. More than 60,000 people showed up last year. Volunteers create a community in the desert called Black Rock City. They set up everything themselves. For number 2, we have to choose the question. And the answer is, no, it started in San Francisco, California in 1986, next to the Golden Gate Bridge. It moved to the desert 5 years later. So number 2 will be, I think this one. Has the festival always taken place there? Number 3, because fire is an important theme of the festival. Why is it called the Burning Man Festival? Because fire is an important theme of the festival, people build an enormous wooden statue of a person which is more than 30 meters tall, and they burn it on the Saturday night of the festival. They also build and burn lots of other things. Number 4, they dress up in costumes, and because of the dust in the desert, they wear goggles. I think it's this one. What else do people do at the festival? What else do people do at the festival? They dress up in costumes, and because of the dust in the desert, they wear goggles. There are also a lot of other fun activities. There is usually a balloon chain of 450 different balloons, which is 1 kilometer long, and it lights up the sky. Number 5, after the festival, the rules are very strict. People must tidy up everything. What happens after the festival? After the festival, the rules are very strict. People must tidy up everything and leave the desert exactly as it was before the festival started, because the organizers are very worried about protecting the environment. Number 6, it's unusual because there aren't any famous bands or celebrities. How is it different from other festivals? It's unusual because there aren't any famous bands or celebrities. It's all about community. Everyone is on the same level. Let's check our answers. Well done, all correct. Let's move on to exercise 4. Explore phrasal verbs with up. Look at the highlighted words in the text. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the words in the box. The words are show, set, tidy, pick, light, and dress. Number 1 has been done for us. When the festival was over, we tidied up all our rubbish and went home. Number 2, for the festival last year, my friend up as a robot. My friend dressed up as a robot. Number 3, hundreds of fireworks up the sky to end the festival. Number 3, hundreds of fireworks light up the sky to end the festival. Number 4, we asked him to come at 8 o'clock, but he didn't, up until 9 o'clock. But he didn't show up until 9 o'clock. Number 5, the band up their equipment on the stage before the concert. The band set up their equipment. And number 6, we of some food in the supermarket. We picked up some food in the supermarket and drove out to the festival site. Let's check our answers. Well done, all correct. Now let's just read through the sentences. Number 1. When the festival was over, we tidied up all our rubbish and went home. Number 2. For the festival last year, my friend dressed up as a robot. Number 3. Hundreds of fireworks light up the sky to end the festival. Number 4. We asked him to come at 8 o'clock, but he didn't show up until 9 o'clock. Number 5, the band set up their equipment on the stage before the concert. And number 6, we picked up some food in the supermarket and drove out to the festival site. Let's go on. Let's move on to exercise 5. Your turn. Ask and answer with your partner. We will of course do this once we are back in the classroom. So let's just read through. Number 1. Would you like to go to a festival like the Burning Man? Why or why not? Number 2. Does your school or town have its own festival? What type of festival is it? What can you do there? Suggested answers. I'd really like to go because it looks amazing in the photos. That's to answer number 1 about going to the Burning Man festival. And number 6, write about the last festival you went to. Here's a suggested answer, example. The last festival I went to was in our town. There were We will now see a little video, Discovery Education, Art in Perspective. Learn about Renaissance painters. Where did the Renaissance begin? What did the Renaissance painters want to do? Why did they want to do this? So we will answer the questions after we see the video.
Art in Perspective. Europe in the 14th century. This is the beginning of the Renaissance, a time when Europeans made great advances in the areas of art, astronomy, science, architecture, and mathematics. The Renaissance began in Italy. There, rich families like the Medicis gave large amounts of money to artists. This created an explosion of art. It produced some of the world's most famous artworks by the world's most famous artists. Renaissance artists wanted their art to be as realistic as possible. Science helped them do it. Before the Renaissance, European paintings looked flat. The size of objects or people was based on importance. The more important something was, the bigger the artist made it. The flat paintings were often beautiful, but Renaissance painters wanted their art to be three-dimensional. They wanted people and objects in the painting to look real. For example, take two circles of different sizes. For an artist of the Middle Ages, one circle is larger because it is more important than the other circle. But for Renaissance artists, the big circle is bigger because it is closer to the viewer. The smaller circle is further away. Across Europe, painters began to use perspective in their work. Filippo Brunelleschi was the first Italian to use perspective. He created a painting of this building. It was so realistic that viewers were often amazed at how similar it was to the actual building.
Learn about Renaissance painters. Now we've seen the video, so we can answer the questions. Where did the Renaissance begin? The Renaissance began in Italy. What did the Renaissance painters want to do? They wanted their pictures to be 3D with space, distance, and depth. Why did they want to do this? They wanted their pictures to look as realistic as possible. Writing. An internet post. Look at the photos and read Alba's blog about the concert. Did she enjoy it? I've just come back from a fantastic free concert. It was in a park near the city centre, and there was a great atmosphere with hundreds of young people dancing and enjoying themselves. There were lots of bands, but for me, the best one was the Hurricane from Manchester. They play a mixture of styles. Their first songs were folk and blues, but the last one sounded more like reggae and rock. The singer, Janie Smith, has a really amazing voice, and the guitarists and drummer played together really well. They've just made an album. They've never had a hit, and I want to get it. If you get the chance to see them, go for it. Exercise 2. Read Alba's description of the concert. Answer the questions. Let's do this in the table. Number 1. Does Alba say where the concert took place? Yes, she does. She says it took place in a park. Number 2. Does Alba describe the atmosphere? Yes, she does. She says many people were dancing and enjoying themselves. Number 3. Does Alba describe the stage? No, she doesn't describe the stage. Number 4. Does Alba say who played and give information about the band? Yes, she does. She says there were many bands, but her favorite band was the Hurricane from Manchester. Number 5. Does Alba say what she had to eat or drink at the concert? No, she doesn't. She doesn't talk about her eating or drinking. Number 6. Does Alba give her opinion? Yes, she does. She says that the singer, Janie Smith, had an amazing voice. Number 7. Does Alba make a recommendation? Yes, she does. She tells a friend if she gets a chance to listen to the Hurricanes, she should go for it. And number 8. Does Alba say how much it costs? No, she doesn't. But she does say in the beginning that this was a free concert. Let's check our answers. Well done. Let's move on to exercise 3. Look at the useful language box. What kind of words do one and ones replace? Okay, useful language. Avoiding repetition. We use one, singular, and ones as plural to refer to something we mentioned earlier in a text. For example, there were lots of bands, but for me, the best one was the Hurricane from Manchester. And their first songs were folk and blues, but the last ones sounded more like reggae and rock. So we use one to describe the singular and ones to describe plural. So one and ones. Exercise 4. Complete the sentences with one or ones. Number 1. I really liked the last band. The first ones weren't as good. So the bands before weren't as good. Number 2. There are 2 boys in the band. The tall one plays the drums. She's talking about the boys, but she's not talking about both of them. She's actually talking about one of them. So we have to use one. The tall one plays the drums. Number 3, they sang 2 songs. Which one did you like the best? Number 4, I've seen them in concert twice. The last one was in the park last summer. Number 5, I like all their songs, but the earlier ones are great to dance to. And number 6, Dave's got 3 guitars, a red one and 2 black ones, because 2 is plural. Let's check and see our sentences. Well done. Let's just read through. Number 1, I really liked the last band. The first ones weren't as good. Number 2. There are 2 boys in the band. The tall one plays the drums. Number 3. They sang 2 songs. Which one did you like best? Number 4. I've seen them in concert twice. The last one was in the park last summer. Number 5. I like all their songs, but their earlier ones are great to dance to. Number 6. Dave's got 3 guitars, a red one and 2 black ones. Get writing. So before you start writing, one has to plan. Plan a blog post about a concert you've been to. Use exercise 2 to help you decide what order to put them in. So first you have to plan which concert you're going to talk about. Then you start writing. Write your blog post about the concert. Use your notes from exercise 5 and the model test to help you. That's this one. So this blog will help you understand how to go about talking about your concert that you enjoyed. Number 7, check. Can you say yes to these questions? Is the information about the list in exercise 2 in your writing? And have you avoided using repetition? Now we do a review of all we've done today. Listening and vocabulary. These are the instruments. Number 1, cello. Number 2, drums. Number 3, mouth organ. Number 4, piano. Number 5, guitar. Number 6, bongos. Number 7, recorder. Number 8, trumpet. Number 9, clarinet. Number 10, tambourine. Number 11, saxophone. Number 12, violin. Number 13, flute. Number 14, banjo. And number 15, keyboards. Let's write the instruments in the table. Number 1, cello. Number 2, drums. Number 3, mouth organ. Number 4, piano. Number 5, guitar. Number 6, bongos. Number 7, recorder. Number 8, trumpet. Number 9, clarinet. Number 10, tambourine. Number 11, saxophone. Number 12, violin. Number 13, flute. Number 14. Banjo. Okay. Number 14 will be keyboards. And number 15 will be banjo. Now let's check our answers. Well done. Let's move on to exercise 2. Answer the question with words from exercise 1. Not all the words are needed. Number 1. Which instruments can you find in a rock band? Keyboards, drums, guitar. So keyboards, drums, and electric guitar. Electric guitar, drums, and keyboard. Okay. Number 2. Which instruments do children often play in primary school? Tambourine, recorder, and maybe bongos. Number 2, tambourine and recorder. Number 3, which instruments are often played in jazz? Saxophone, piano, trumpet, and maybe clarinet. Saxophone, piano, clarinet, trumpet. Okay. Number 4, which instruments can you see in an orchestra? Cello, violin, flute, clarinet, and maybe saxophone. Okay. Number 5. Which instruments are difficult to play on the street? Drums, piano, electric guitar, and keyboard. Piano, drums, electric guitar, keyboards, as there's no electricity. Correct. Let's do exercise 3, listening. Listen to a radio interview with 2 street performers. What do they do?
Today, I'm in Covent Garden. If you've been to London, you've probably seen some of the amazing street performers here. I'm going to try and talk to a few of them. Now, this person looks interesting. What's your name?
Greg.
When did you start performing in the street?
I started when I was 16. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Then I saw a magician at a music festival. He was really cool, so I asked him how I could learn. He showed me some of his tricks, I was good at it, and here I am.
What do you like about being a street magician then?
Well, I like the freedom and the travelling. I've travelled all over the world performing at street festivals and in places like San Francisco and Covent Garden. I love this way of life. If you're good at what you do, you can make good money.
Well, you've certainly got a lot of people watching you today. Thanks for talking to me. Now, I can hear drums and applause over there. That's a big crowd of people. I'm not surprised. This woman's just finished juggling with fire. Excuse me, what's your name?
Alice. Isn't your job dangerous, Alice?
No, not really. I've always juggled.
Do you always juggle with fire?
No, I've used lots of different things. But recently I've started to juggle with fire more. It's popular with the tourists.
Have you always been in Covent Garden?
No, I studied at a circus school in France. And I've worked in a travelling circus. And in Paris. Covent Garden is difficult because there are lots of really good performers. But the tourists are very generous, so I usually make lots of money. I sometimes work at night too. The fire is fantastic then.
Are there many women performers?
No, but some of the statues are women. There's also a great all-woman jazz band who play the clarinet, saxophone and banjo.
Thanks. Maybe I'll interview them too.
Exercise 3. Let's answer the questions. Greg is a magician and Alice is a juggler. Let's check our answers. Well done. Let's move on to exercise 4. Listen again and circle the correct options. Let's use the table. Number 1. Greg decided to do his job when he was 16. He first thought of doing it at a music festival. Number 3. He was a good magician when he first started. Number 4. He's performed in many different countries. Number 5. He likes the lifestyle. Number 6. Alice thinks juggling with fire isn't dangerous. Number 7. She has worked in a circus. Number 8. She sometimes works at night. Number 9. She can make a lot of money in a short time. And number 10. There are a few women street performers in Covent Garden. Let's check our answers. Well done, all correct. Let's just read the sentences once through. Number 1. Greg decided to do his job when he was 16. Number 2. He first thought of doing it at a music festival. Number 3. He was a good magician when he first started. Number 4. He performed in many different countries. Number 5. He likes the lifestyle. Number 6. Alice thinks juggling with fire isn't dangerous. Number 7. She has worked in a circus. 8. She sometimes works at night. Number 9. She can make a lot of money in a short time. And number 10. There are a few women street performers in Covent Garden. Let's move on to language focus 2. Present perfect with ever and never. Let's use the tablet. Choose the correct options. Number 1. I have never given money to a busker. Number 2. Have you ever tried to juggle? Number 3. My dad has never played the piano. Number 5. Tanya has never seen a living statue. Number 5. Has your teacher ever taken you to a gallery? And number 6. I have never been to that concert hall. Let's check our answers. Well done. Let's just read our sentences. Number 1. I have never given money to a busker. 2. Have you ever tried to juggle? 3. My dad has never played the piano. 4. Tanya has never seen a living statue. 5. Has your teacher ever taken you to a gallery? And number 6. I have never been to that concert hall. Let's go on. Exercise 2. Put the words in order to make questions and sentences. Your family made you for have ever dinner. When you have to put sentences or questions in the correct order, there is a capital letter, so that will be the starting word. A good idea to do such an exercise would be to number the correct order. So this will be 1, have, 2, you, 3, ever, 4, made, 5, dinner, 6, for, and 7, your family. So then you can practice saying the sentence or question and see whether it's correct. Have you ever made dinner for your family? Number 2. That would be the beginning. Have. Have they ever visited the Tate Gallery? Have they ever visited the Tate Gallery? Number 3. The question will begin with has. Has she ever seen a live concert? Has she ever seen a live concert? Number 4. So the sentence will begin with she's. She's never met a famous person. She's never met a famous person. Number 5. Never that book read I've. So this is the capital letter I've never read that book. And the last one, number 6. You've never helped me. You've never helped me. Let's check our answers. Well done. Let's just read through. Number 1. Have you ever made dinner for your family? Number 2. Have they ever visited the Tate Gallery? Number 3. Has she ever seen a live concert? Number 4. She's never met a famous person. Number 5. I've never read that book. And number 6. You've never helped me. Okay, let's move on to exercise 5. Explore phrasal verbs with up. Match the sentence halves. Let's do this in the template. Match the sentence halves. Number 1. My mom says I can't go out until I tidy up my room. Tidy up. Number 2. They press the button. They pressed the button and thousands of small lights lit up the streets. Number 3. We missed the start of the film because Jacob showed up late. Number 4. The photographer set up his camera and started taking photos. Number 5. We had a party and we all dressed up as superheroes. Dressed up. Number 6. We can't have dinner because Adam hasn't picked up the food. So let's just see all the phrasal verbs with up. Tidy up. Number 2, lit up. Number 3, showed up. Number 4, set up. Number 5, dressed up. And number 6, picked up. Let's check our work. Well done. Let's just read the sentences. My mom says I can't go out until I tidy up my room. Number 2, they pressed the button and thousands of small lights lit up the streets. Number 3, we missed the start of the film because Jacob showed up late. Number 4, the photographer set up his camera and started taking photos. Number 5, we had a party and we all dressed up as superheroes. Number 6, we can't have dinner because Adam hasn't picked up the food. Students, now that we have completed our lesson for today, please go to Google Classroom to complete the assignment. Thank you.